Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video. And today, as you can see, we're gonna play some blues. This is Keith Merrow's KM7 Mark III signature, and it is one of the most highly spec'd modern guitars that I've ever had on the channel. Like, the sheer number of modern features Schecter has managed to squeeze into this thing is fairly insane. This might also be one of the few guitars I can think of that looks even better from the back than it does from the front. Now, Schecter is a player favorite brand because they've built a reputation for having some of the best value guitars in the entire industry. The Schecter name on the headstock generally means a lot of spec and a lot of quality for the money. So this KM7 Mark III Artist is one of Schecter's highest end guitars with a price tag to match. So is that value per dollar aspect still strong here? Let's take a closer look. Alright, so this guitar is obviously very modern. It is spec'd to the death. Go ahead, plug it in, and get some first impressions. Today's tones are brought to you by the brand new Kraken V4 guitar amp from Victory Amplification. Massive thanks to them for sponsoring the video. Look how cute it is. Aluminum chassis, the entire unit weighs under 4 pounds. It's a hybrid amp with a tube preamp section combined with an 180 watt solid state power section. Very cool high gain amp with kind of a classic British flavor. In fact, it's all hand built in the UK. Well chuffed in it. 2 channels, vintage and modern gain, digital reverb, even a little 9-volt output on the back to power an external pedal like a delay, for example, which you can run through the effects loop. The coolest thing about it though, besides the dope Kraken artwork, is that this is the most affordable amp to date that comes with 2 Notes cab sim integration. So you can run this amp directly into your interface or PA via XLR and get a clear, professional, consistent mic sound without needing a real cab. That's so sick! 6 default presets designed by Rabim Assad, or you can load on your own custom IRs with the 2 Note software, essentially turning this into a limitlessly customizable virtual combo amp. For more information, links in the description. For this whole video, I'm only running the guitar into the V4 Kraken, loaded on one of Luke's custom Diamond 4x12 IRs, and that's going straight into my Focusrite interface. Let's get into some raw tones and first impressions. It's quickly becoming my go-to 7-string riff. In fairness, I don't really know that many. I should play 7 strings more, like the mindless chugs are that much more fun. Oh, this bridge is really satisfying, so chonky. The wide fingerboards though, in general, I'd rather just tune a 6-string down to A. Or like the Mark Tremonti low E down to a low B. I forgot about this strange looking nut. It's the Ernie Ball compensated nut, and it kind of looks like a jigsaw puzzle piece. Weird nut, bro. But I guess it is a smart idea. I have to say though, even as a 6-string player, this is a very comfortable 7-string to play. The satin neck feels good, the fingerboard edges are really well rounded, the stainless steel frets are awesome, they're really well polished. The very Britishy tone is giving me mad Slipknot vibes. You know, overall, this is kind of reminding me of like a Schecter-fied Ibanez. I mean, not just that it's like a modern 7-string super strat type thing, but even the control scheme. You've got the nubby little pickup selector, and instead of a push-pull solution, you've got the little mini toggle to switch the Fishman Fluence voices. And most obvious is the bridge. It's a Hipshot Ibby. Wonder where they could have possibly gotten that name from. Then you've got classic Schecter things like the compound fingerboard radius and the spoke wheel truss rod adjustment. Yeah, like the KM7 is a cool collision of worlds. Cool, I'm actually really liking this a lot. Now let's jump into a demo track, see how it sounds like in a full produced mix. After that, I'll meet you back here for some raw tone samples and some final thoughts. Let's get into it. Alright, just a few final thoughts. As I said, I'm definitely more of a 6-string player. Man, if I wasn't having a ton of fun chugging real low with this guitar. I mean, overall, it's stable, it sounds great, the playability is excellent. Now that my Les Paul playing ass has gotten used to it, the 26.5-inch scale length for a 7-string, yes.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
And as far as pure spec goes, this is one of the most intense import models on the market. Let's stop for a second and just take a look at the neck alone. The 9-piece Wenge Maple Purple Heart neck through is f***ing great. Let me just say that again. 9-piece neck. Who does that? Who even f***ing does that? Add carbon fiber rod reinforcement for extra stability, glow-in-the-dark side dots for easier navigation in low-light situations, even aluminum inlays because I don't know, they look really cool, like little solar eclipses, and it's extra metal, always down for more metal. Compound fingerboard radius and extra jumbo stainless steel frets. That's dope. Schecter's including stainless steel frets on so many of their higher end models, just like LTD. It also helps that the quality on this particular unit is a great example of the QC Schecter is capable of. No problems with the fretwork, and the fingerboard edges have been well rounded. Personally, I'm not huge into the ultra thin neck shapes. I like when they've got a bit more heft to them, but other than that, this has every single playability feature you could possibly ask for from a modern-ass 7-string. Hipshot hardware, Hipshot open gear locking tuners, these are my absolute favorite, and the barrel tuning buttons are genius. From the pictures, I thought they'd take a little while to get used to, but yeah, not really, they just look weird. The knurled edges make them easy to use, and the shape makes it much more difficult to accidentally bump them and knock a string or two out of tune. Electronics, Keith Merrow's Fluence set is stupid good. I'm a huge Fluence fan in general, and this is one of my top favorite sets. The bridge humbucker in particular, I really bond with. It's so tight and clear and precise and just mean, which makes it perfect for a 7-string. And the single coil voices are beautiful for cleans. Now, my biggest concern when trying Schecters is that in a lot of cases the specs can be absolute insanity on paper, but a lot of them tend to fall short in the personality department. More often than not, from the Schecters that I've tried at least, they lack personality, they lack mojo. The quality is always good, it's just sometimes they're not inspiring to play. Very happy to report though, this is not one of them. Let's be clear, it doesn't have as much mojo as a vintage Gibson, for example, but it still feels very much alive. And that might be because of the satin finish. You feel more connected to the wood. It feels less plasticky than a gloss poly. Really, the only additional spec I would have loved to see on here is an Evertune. Love those on extended range guitars because it eliminates pitch drift, especially on that lowest string. That being said, if it's gonna be a non-Evertune bridge on a 7, I'm glad it's a Hipshot with a substantial amount of mass. Feels so solid, and the saddles are nice and rounded, so the chugs are heavy and comfortable. And I know already I'm gonna get some questions. This or the Banshee MKIII Evertune, which I demoed last year. Very similar feeling guitars, same scale length, fingerboard radius, neck shape, stainless steel frets. Both absolutely spec'd to the brim. Since I'm not an extended range player, I've told myself that one of them needs to go to a more deserving home. But for the life of me, I can't figure out which. Honestly, they're both great. Schecter's killed it with both. In one corner, love all the specs of the KM7. Much prefer the open pore feel of this neck, and to be honest, I think this is the better looking guitar. Even in this transparent blackburst color, it also comes in blue crimson, which is absolute visual fire. In the other corner, those hand-wound Lundgrens in the Banshee MKIII do sound sick though. So insanely genty. And it's got an Evertune, which is huge. Both figuratively in that it's a really great feature, and also physically. Like, that guitar is much heavier than this one. And I think this incredibly first world problem really illustrates Schecter's position in the world of 7-string guitars. Compared to other brands, there's a ton of choice here and at different spec levels for extended range players. These particular two are not cheap, but when you break down spec for spec what you're actually getting, I'd argue they're still good value per dollar, which is a theme for Schecters across their entire line, and a big reason as to why they're so popular with metal players especially. This is when I wish YouTube still had a poll feature in the cards, but they don't, so I guess leave your opinion in the comments. Which 7 would you prefer? This Merrow KM7 Mark III Artist, or the Banshee Mach 7? And in general, I would love to know what you're thinking about this guitar, because it is now the end of the video. That's it. I've got nothing more to say. It's your turn. So thanks to Schecter for sending this guitar over for us to check out together, to Victory Amplification for sponsoring the video, and to Luke for, of course, doing an excellent job with the demo track. Signal chain, social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.